Well, welcome everyone to this awesome star-studded night of college and alumni um, professionals here. As the evening goes, I think we're going to be getting more and more people. This is all about you guys, and so um, yeah, let's just pórtense bien todos. Valeria is in charge; she's the boss, and we have to listen to what she says. My name, oh, sorry. Do you want us to introduce ourselves, Kayla, or no hay tiempo?
Yeah, I think we jump right into the panel.
We'll be really fast, only because Kayla and Victoria have done an awesome job this week putting this thing together with us. So my name is Carlos. I am a program manager. So I work with the high schools and middle schools from Wasatch, so from Heber down to Las Vegas and Phoenix. And I love what I do. And I love supporting you guys and listening to your stories. So we're excited. Victoria y Kayla.
Well, good evening. I'm Victoria Young. I'm also a regional program manager, but I'm down in South Florida. So I'm with Broward County, Palm Beach County, and Lee County. Again, like Carlos said, we're really excited to have you guys here. We worked hard on this, and we have some amazing panelists. One like Jhonatan Castillo's here. I mean, he's just a star, and he's so hard to reach. So we're glad to have you guys here. And you're going to get some great information to close out our week. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kayla Nielsen, Director of Marketing and Communications for Latinos in Action. I work remotely from Peru. And Carlos, Victoria, and I have put this event together, and we're just so excited about it. We're excited for our students and teachers to see the amazing LI alumni that have come out of this program. So thank you all for tuning in and for joining us tonight.
Should I go?
Please. Oh yeah, sorry, Luis, por favor.
Okay, yes, my name is Luis Castro. I've been actually with LIA for 17, 18 years. I started as the official DJ, and then I've acquired some more jobs and wear a few more hats. I'm actually over media now. So I'm the one that does all the videography, photography for LIA, and I create all the videos that you see for Motivational Mondays and the different concepts. I'm actually looking for alumni to interview for our 20th year anniversary. So please reach out to me, okay? So we can do that. And that's it. That's about me.
Perfect. Well, we can go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great evening. Thank you so much for joining our LIA Alumni and College Student panel. We are excited to have our incredible panelists share their experiences and advice with you all. As a first-generation student myself, I always love hearing from Latinos who have gone through similar experiences as I have when navigating high school and higher education. We want to make sure this conversation is helpful and motivating to you all. We will be taking questions at the end. If you are on Zoom, feel free to put your questions in the chat. If you are watching from Facebook or YouTube, please comment your questions. We would love to hear from you. With that, let's go ahead and get started with the panel. My name is Valeria Jimenez, and I will be your moderator. Thanks so much to Latinos in Action for inviting me to take part. I absolutely love Latinos in Action. I am from Heber City, Utah. I went to Wasatch High School where I was a part of Latinos in Action. I am a proud LIA alum. I do not know what I would have done without the Latinos in Action program. To this day, I'm so grateful I joined. I was able to become the first LIA president at my high school. I was the first WASP LA student to receive an $1,000 scholarship at the LA conference, and also be able to put on events for the Latinx community in Heber to learn more about the scholarships and resources available to their students. LIA gave me the tools, motivation, and confidence to pursue higher education as a first-generation Latina college student. And another thing that it really helped me was that being Latino was something to be proud of. So I absolutely love Latinos in Action. When I graduated high school in 2014, I began my undergraduate college journey at the University of Utah. It was my first time moving away from home, so it was so hard to adjust at first. I was living in a dorm, and I was very grateful to have received a lot of scholarships to be able to live on campus. But I knew, even though it was hard at first, I knew that I belonged there because I was going to be the first person in my family to graduate from college. So I was so grateful to be there. So after switching my major 5 times, I switched my major so many times in college. Then I decided on majoring in political science with 2 minors. So I did business and Chicana studies. So throughout my college experiences, I was in a variety of student organizations, including the University of Utah LA College Chapter. And I also did an internship in DC with the Ibarra Strategy Group, which is a Latino lobbying firm. And I was also a part of the Honors College at the University of Utah. And for those that may not be familiar with the Honors College, it prepares you to graduate from college with an honors degree, and also to complete a honors thesis project with a professor in your major. So I wrote my honors thesis on the role of nonprofit organizations in promoting higher education among Latino youth, and my case study was actually on Latinos in Action. So my thesis took about a year to complete, but it would not have been possible without my amazing honors thesis advisor, Dr. Jesus Valero. He really mentored me and helped me throughout the process. So once I did all of that, I graduated from the U 2 years ago in May of 2018, and I know that LA truly played a big role in guiding me through my educational trajectory. So now I am the Keys to Success Program Manager at the Success in Education Foundation. Keys to Success is committed to motivating Utah high school students to unlock their future and connect with scholarships, internships, and opportunities. If you are a Utah high school student, please make sure you download the Keys to Success app or visit ktsusutah.org. We provide high schools with scholarships to a lot of the colleges and universities in Utah. So please make sure to download the app and apply for those scholarships. Also, you can follow us on Instagram. We have a fun holiday giveaway campaign starting on Saturday where we will be giving away prizes and 2 big scholarships. So if you want to earn some scholarship money, make sure you go to our Instagram and check those opportunities out. So my story is just one of many personal stories, and I'm so excited for you all to hear from our panelists tonight. Let's have them introduce themselves. Victor, would you please go ahead and start us off?
Yes. Thank you, Valeria. Gosh, what Valeria is amazing. You've been working with her for a while. Let me just take kind of a brief moment here to introduce myself quite quickly because there's a lot of us. But I've been with LIA since junior high. It's been a long time. Always stayed close to LIA. When I was, younger, one of the biggest kind of limitations that I had in my head was for some reason, I thought that, higher education was not for me. But LIA changed that perception and that view very quickly, and actually not only changed it, but propelled me to kind of achieve those goals and dreams that I had set for myself, right? So going to high school, kind of with the help of LIA and other teachers and through motivation and help of my parents, get a scholarship full ride to the University of Utah where I wanted to work. And ever since, just kind of been, achieving different goals that I have set up for myself at the university level, at my career, and been lucky enough to now be sitting, through the continuous journey of being an LIA, have always come back and helped. So currently, I sit as the chair for the board of Latinos in Action. Kind of very proud to say that, to kind of help lead LIA in the right direction strategy alongside with Jose. And that's just a little bit about myself. I want to keep it short. I'll turn it over to Luis Ramirez, who I see him smiling. So.
Hello. So my name is Luis Ramirez. I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Utah, Theoretical School of Business. And I was kind of invited last minute to this panel thing. And so I wanted to share the story. Basically, one day, I was doing my homework this year and I didn't really feel happy. And I was like, why am I not happy? My entire life, I've been working for this moment to be in college. And I just wasn't happy. And I thought to myself, oh, I'll be happy once, I graduate or once I enter my career. And so then like, kind of this revelation, I should be happy in the moment. And so one thing I did was, I stopped doing my homework. And then I decided to walk around campus and just soak in, the opportunity and the moment that, I'm in college and I've been working like so hard throughout my life. And then as I was walking, I was thinking like about all the people that have helped me be here. And one organization, not necessarily person, but one organization that I thought about that really helped me be here in college and get a full ride was the Latinos in Action program. And so I was feeling really thankful, and I wanted to thank the people that have helped me. So I went to LinkedIn and I like searched Jose Enriquez, because he was the founder. And then I sent him an invitation to connect, but I wasn't expecting him to accept it because he's like a super busy guy. But then he accepted it and I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. And so then I sent him a message and I was like, hey, Dr. Jose Enriquez, I'm currently a sophomore at the University of Utah on a full ride. And I just wanted to thank you and all the work that you have done with the Latinos in Action program. Because I would not be here without you. And then he invited me. He was like, oh, like, thank you. That really made my week. I'm really grateful that you sent me that message. And then he invited me to come here and like share a little bit more about myself and my story and what Latinos in Action has done for me. And so it's done a lot. I can't be thankful enough. And I'm glad for this opportunity to give back and share my experience. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm not sure who to pass it off to next.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Luis. We'll turn the time over to Jhonatan.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. My name is Jhonatan Castillo, also known as Yeko. I go by Yeko everywhere. I was born and raised in Mexico City and came to the States when I was 16 years old, and only and that's when I met Jose Enriquez. When I first came to the United States, he was my geography teacher, and so I've been with Latinos in Action since 2002. I know I look a lot younger than that, but it is 2002. So I started the second year Latinos in Action started, and so I that's when I was in Latinos in Action. So I guess the impact with Latinos in Action happened a little later with me. I think that Latinos in Action gave me the portfolio to actually go out there and be where I am today professionally. I remember I was one night, it was like 2 a.m. I was just browsing through Facebook and I saw Jose posted something about Latinos in Action. And this was like 10 years later, 2012, I think. And I messaged Jose and I said, hey, who's doing all your website stuff and all your design? And he's like, oh, nobody's doing it right now. So I was like, yeah, I can tell. So why don't you let me do it? So he just said yes right there. He didn't even like, I hadn't talked to him for like 8 years probably. So, and then I started working with Latinos in Action as a freelancer, doing all the website stuff and all the design, and I've been with them since. So yeah, I am a software engineer by trade, but I work at Latinos in Action as a web developer and designer, and I also run a couple projects called Pronto Carte and My Business Bio, kind of like a software as a service company. So I do a lot with Latinos in Action and then work on my own projects.
as well. So I've been with Latinos in Action for about 10 years now.
Thank you so much for sharing. And then we'll go to Alvin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alvin Contreras. I've been involved with Latinos in Action since my senior year of high school. I was part of the very first school in Palm Beach County in South Florida. I'm glad to say that along with a group of 5 friends, we created the very first college chapter here too in Palm Beach State College. And soon to be next chapter in Florida Atlantic University when I'm planning to transfer there next semester. Just the pandemic makes everything a little slow. I've been with, I tell everybody that through college, there's a lot of ups and downs. I was lost a lot, but without Latinos in Action, I probably would be even more lost. I only did 1 year because I was a senior, unfortunately, but I fell in love with the program and I love this. I've been involved with them for 3 years and hope to be involved with them for many more. This is just incredible what we can do for others, what we can show others, how to navigate and how to be successful through college.
Awesome, thank you. And then we'll go to Silvia.
Hi everyone, so I'm Silvia, and I'm a little bit jealous that a lot of you had, Latinos in Action in high school because I didn't have that opportunity, but luckily I did hear about Latinos in Action about, I think it's going to be 2 years this year, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to know Latinos in Action. But I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I am originally from El Salvador. I came to the US when I was 5, and then I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area in a town called Richmond. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that area, but that's where I grew up. And then I came out here to go to school to BYU. Right now, I am a senior majoring in microbiology. And so I'm hoping to apply to medical school this next cycle, so hopefully around like May-ish or so. And then I have been involved with Latinos in Action, like I said, since like 2019. It's actually when that the BYU LIA chapter was started. And so I actually heard through, there was an email that came through about it. And I wasn't involved with any like Latino associations on campus, which like there really aren't a ton. I think Alpha is also there now, but they're fairly new. But I was really excited, and I actually through LIA I was able to find like opportunities to serve in the community, and I got involved with also translating and helping people with citizenship classes, and I thought that was really cool. So I just thought that it was just a really cool organization. And recently I just became the LIA BYU chapter president, so that's how I'm involved with LIA. And so I really love it. We're building our committees and hoping to bring leadership and peer mentoring and all that, and I'm really excited. So
Wow, that's so great. Thanks so much for sharing that. Yeah. And then we'll turn the time to Manuel.
Hello. My name is Manuel Garcia. I'm a current senior at Boise State University, and kind of like Silvia, I didn't have an opportunity to be a part of Latinos in Action in high school, but I think through the overwhelming push on social media and different social platforms, I was able to discover this great group. And from then I just was attracted to it, and I kind of just followed it through it. And since going to Boise State, there wasn't a Latinos in Action organization in this area. And for that, I kind of wanted to start a chapter at my university. It's been a great thing for me. I had an opportunity for me, like being a part of Latinos in Action, being a volunteer and mentor at the boot camps and variety of conferences that they've held. And for me, it was just a great thing to see, not just for me, but really the high school and middle schoolers and just how much engaged they were. I often found myself being motivated by them because I could see that they had a passion, and I just knew that this organization is just a great thing, and the lives of these kids and high schooler students are going to be changed forever if they continuously work to stay with this organization and follow through with the guidelines that kind of like they put out. I think it's just a great thing, and I hope this continues to grow as it has so far.
That is so true. I could not agree more. LA truly helps us realize our potential and that we are brilliant. That's what I love about LIA. We'll go to Anna.
Hey everyone, my name is Ana Ortiz. I'm originally from Mexico. I came here when I was 9 in 2004. I live in Utah. I originally started living in West Valley and I'm now living in Saratoga. Practically, I had to learn English when I first came to the US. I heard from LIA until I was in high school. I was actually part of the after school program because during the time that I was in high school, we didn't even have a class yet. So I'd like to think of myself as like a pioneer of LIA in Hunter High back in the day. And I was able to join LIA as a class my senior year of high school. I took some concurrent enrollment classes while I was in high school, some AP classes, but I actually never went through the traditional college path due to like financial situation with my family. I was the third. I'm the youngest of 3 daughters, and my parents honestly didn't quite make enough for us to like all be able to go to college. So I practically kind of just worked my way through life until the year 2017. I ran into my cousin who actually went to a boot camp for web development, and she talked to me about it, and I was like, wow, that's like really cool, like you pay a set rate and like you don't have to spend a lot of time just going through the college life. And I honestly feel like I missed out. Through my boot camp, I was actually able to live close to the campus itself. It's a pretty small campus. It was in Provo, so I got part of that college experience while I was there because I was living in a dorm with a couple other roommates, and it's like, oh wow, like I truly missed out on the college experience, but I was able to live through it through those 6 months that I was in the boot camp. And in 2018, I got my first job as a software engineer in March, and I was with this company that's based in Mexico for about a year. And I now currently work for a fintech company in Lehigh called MX Technologies. And a fun fact, if you or anybody you know has like AFCU, we actually provide the mobile application for AFCU. So it's like really cool to be able to kind of show the financial aspect of what I do in my everyday life. I feel like as a Latina, we don't really get like much experience with our finances and like how to spend our money wisely and everything. So it's just been like a really fun experience. I actually ran into Jose Enriquez at the color gala. I don't remember the name correctly, but I met him there. And I recognized him, and I hadn't been in touch with LIA since I graduated in 2013. So I was like, oh my God, it's really you. Like, it's such an honor to see you again. Like, look at how LA changed my life. Like, I didn't go through the college path and I didn't stay in touch, but I always kept that mentality of like working smarter instead of harder and like trying to do something for myself and to further my education and hopefully, inspire others to be able to do the same and just prove that there's not just one correct way to do things. Whatever you do, if you don't want to go to college right after high school and want to spend some time to just grow in your personal skills and eventually go to college, like it's really cool to just be able to take a different path.
Wow, congrats, Anna. And did you say America First Credit Union app? Is that the app? I have the app. That's my bank. So that's so awesome to know that you're behind that. Like someone that was part of LIA and everything. That is so cool. Okay, and last but not least, we'll turn the time to Millie.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Millie Pioquinto. I'm originally from Springville, Utah, and I'm a former secretary at my LIA for my LIA class, and I'm a first-generation Mexican-American student. I'm currently a sophomore majoring in international business as well as Korean studies. And I just want to say that I owe all of my college career to LIA. I wasn't, originally I wasn't planning on going to college, but I got involved in LIA my senior year, and my mentor, Mr. Brad Northcutt, he really made me get involved with LIA and all of its great resources that it provided. And so I'm very, very grateful for LIA, because without them, I wouldn't be here today.
That's great. Thanks so much for sharing, Millie. So we'll go ahead and go into the questions. But thank you so much for introducing yourselves. It's so awesome to hear your stories and where you are all right now. We'll start. This question is for Manny. So Manny, what tips would you give our current Latinos in Action students to prepare for college?
Well, at least for me and for others that I've noticed, I think it's really important to be aware of your resources, and also note that also create good habits. I think for me, starting with being aware, often I feel like I'm someone who kind of is stubborn and tries to do things on their own, but like going to college and doing stuff like that, it can be difficult to like figure out something, and it often your parents or anybody you know may not be able to help you with what you're doing. So being aware of what you have around you as far as like at the college level, like whether it's tutors or other professors or just even mentors that you may have gained through Latinos in Action, are all useful tips. And then also creating good habits. For me, it's been one of those, it's been probably the strongest thing you can do as far as just like in life. I make sure kind of to like, whether it's studying for a test or doing homework, making sure kind of just staying disciplined on what you're doing, and make sure that what you have to finish, you have to finish. And yeah, just I think for me, those two are the biggest things I've done to be ready for college.
That is great advice. Let's see. Okay, Silvia, so this question is for Silvia. How do you navigate college as a minority, and what advice would you give to other Latino students?
Yeah, so one thing that, when I first started college, I mean, like a lot of us, I'm also a first generation college student, and I think that college can be very intimidating, especially for those of us who grew up in, in Latinx, like predominantly Latinx, and like me, I grew up in a predominantly Latinx and Black neighborhood, and so it was a culture shock coming to, Brigham Young University or BYU here in Provo, Utah. And I think a lot of that can be really intimidating, trying to, find opportunities to get involved in different clubs, or finding opportunities. Like for me, it was really intimidating trying to find like a research lab to join, like in science. And so one of my biggest pieces of advice would be to, navigate college as a Latina or Latino with confidence, and knowing that like you are supposed to be there. You're there because you're just as smart as everyone else. That you're meant to be there, and that people, as you get out of your comfort zone, you will find opportunities to grow and to be able to accomplish your college goals. So that's like what I would say to minorities and Latinx students.
That is so important to know as Latinos in college, is that we belong there. And just even going off of what you were saying, what was really important was finding a support system. So when I found other Latinos that were there, we were able to share our stories and where we came from, and it really helped us to finish and to really continue and become motivated to finish our degree. So that is great advice. Thank you, Silvia. We have a question for Victor. Victor, what was your transition like from high school to college, and then from college to the professional world? And I just want to say that I met Victor when I was a freshman in college, and I was like, wow, he has everything, like so goal oriented. Victor is just awesome.
Thanks so much, Valeria. You're awesome. Um, I just kind of want to share that it was scary. Going from high school to college, I went with a lot of excitement. I had a lot of opportunities. I actually was lucky enough and worked really hard, and with the help of LIA, was able to get a scholarship. But it was scary, and it can be scary for a lot of you guys to just kind of new environment, change of pace, maybe having to move, relocating to a new state. But I think what sets, and I like to think about this, what sets those individuals that are involved with LIA is that LIA gets you kind of a tool set that you carry around college, right? And you, even though your heart is pumping like crazy and you're nervous and you're scared and you're going to go into that first class, you have that tool set with you, and that, and understand that you're set out there to serve your community. You're set out there to kind of achieve success for yourself, do well, achieve those dreams that you kind of been drafting over the few years in high school. And when I got to college, in my first few days, my first day, I got in a car accident 3 times. It was, it was bad. And it wasn't necessarily with other individuals, just me just kind of being nervous and navigating around school. But that day I always remember as one of the toughest days, but at the same time, I made a few connections that, I still talk to those individuals today. So there was a few things that were challenging, but there were more positive things that I can remember from that day and starting college. And ever since, I think one point to note, and that's really very important for you guys to understand, is making those connections and staying involved is such a key aspect, not only from a culture perspective, where we like to always find people around us and discuss and communicate. We're just like that. But also from, staying healthy and navigating college, right? So for me, I immediately went and searched for a club, right? LIA. I also started another club called Alpha at the University of Utah. And, just started creating those connections, started to get more involved. And that got me not only feeling comfortable, but it also challenged me to kind of speak in front of people, right? Challenge myself to be a leader amongst these peers that I was kind of set out to lead, right? And all those experiences just helped shape me as an individual, so that when I got to my career, it was an easier transition versus having to try to figure that out in the process, right? So I guess just a quick takeaway, because I don't want to take that much time. When you get to college from high school, right, try to get involved as much as you can, to the point where you're also focusing on your studies, and try to get to know other people, try to get to connect with other people. Having a good network is super important for your success, not only within college, but outside of college and career-wise. Leverage the resources that you have available to yourself. Leverage LIA, leverage all of us. Look at us. We're a bunch of, very smart, talented panelists tonight. And, we're here to help every single one of you. And then when you're focusing on your career choice, or when you're about to, move that direction, right? Be proactive about how you move forward. And when I say that, it's like a lot of people wait till the last semester of their, college career to start searching for jobs. Start searching for jobs ahead, right? Get internships. Start talking to your career advisor. Be proactive about how you approach your career. So you want to have options. You don't want to be searching for options. You want to have the options available to you for you just to choose where you want to go. So that's another point I would note. And more importantly, just try to stay safe and as much as you can. and enjoy it. I think I can recall back my experience being in college and kind of the transition from high school to college and college to my career. And every single time I think back of it, I always smile because it was such a positive one, just because I created those connections and connected with those individuals. So, you know, it's going to be challenging, but very fun at the same time.
Thanks, Victor, for sharing those points. That's so true. Networking is key. That's so important. Jonathan, how did you pay for college, not being able to qualify for government assistance?
Oops, I was muted. Well, first of all, can I say, should we just, can I say thank you to Victoria and Carlos and Kayla for putting, and Luis for putting this together, because we probably think that this is just a send a link to a Zoom meeting and then everybody just joins. But I was kind of working on the behind the scenes on this with them a little bit, and it takes a lot to do this. So thank you guys for putting this together. But going back to your question, it was really hard because basically the short answer is I worked my butt off day and night to do that. I started at UVU when I graduated from high school, and I remember Jose Enriquez was at Provo High, so I walked into Provo High because I couldn't get a loan, so I had to do like the payment options with the school, but I had to get a cosigner, and I walked into Jose's office at Provo High, and he helped me out with the co-signing at UVU, and so I worked it wasn't as expensive to go to UVU back then, so I worked I was at UVU for only a couple of years, so it wasn't as bad paying that, but then I moved on to the Art Institute of Salt Lake, where I got my design career going, and that one was a little hard because that one was expensive, and so I went there for about 3.5 years, but I ended up paying for like 7. I ended I was already working as something way different than what I went to school for, and I was still paying for that loan. So and then I went to a couple of boot camps, coding boot camps. I was just talking to Anna, that her and I actually went to the same boot camp, and I was there a couple of cohorts before she was. But on that note, same thing. I just went out there, I got a loan, and then I tried to pay it off. I worked my butt off. The thing is that, and it was a little harder because I already had a family. I had a wife. I had a couple of kids, and then I had a house, and so it was a little harder because I had to quit work and everything, and I had to save a lot of money. But and this is one of the reasons why I'm on this panel, because there are a lot of resources out there, even and I think I somehow in my earlier years I got into this mentality mode, and I bet that this happens to a lot of Latinos, where I came here with my mom, who is a single mom. So I came here and she would work all day, 2 jobs. So I would be at home in the morning. I would wake up by myself, make breakfast by myself, put all my stuff together by myself, go to school by myself, come back, cook food, cook dinner, and then and then when I learned how to speak English, then it was me translating my mom, going to these important meetings with my mom, like the bank, going to job interviews with my mom and translating. So I kind of got into this mentality where I thought that everything falls in, like I have to be the one solving every problem for myself. And it shouldn't be like that, because there's things like Latinos in Action where you can actually reach out to anybody here in Latinos in Action, and we can point you out to resources. I remember at the beginning of the meeting, Valeria was mentioning an app that they developed where you can actually look for resources to help you pay for college. So I think that it was really hard for me because I have to work and I have to pay for every single penny out of my pocket. Fortunately, I did attend 2 boot camps, and one of them gave me a scholarship. So that one I didn't have to pay, but the other one I just ended paying like last year, I think, and it was like 2 years after. So like just like Victor said, be proactive, go out there, see what information you can find. Don't think that you're going to be able to do this on your own. And I mean, you probably can, because I paid for everything out of my pocket, but there's a bunch of resources that can help you relieve a lot of stress and then focus that attention that you need into college or anything else that you're doing, instead of like looking for ways to pay for college.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jhonatan. And it looks like we had Kaylee join. So we'll have Kaylee introduce herself real quick. So Kaylee, the time is yours.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm from Nicaragua, but I was born here, but I grew up in Nicaragua. I'm Nicaraguan culture now that I did some of my years in high school here in Miami, and that's where I met Latinos, and actually I became in love with this program. So right now I'm a waitress in a Mexican restaurant, and if you have any question, you can ask me. I'm free.
Awesome. Well, Kaylee, we do have a question for you right now. What do you think some of the reasons are for students not graduating on time?
Well, right now the most reason is right because of the virus, but you don't have time to be like, oh, I'm gonna graduate in 4 years. It could last 6 years. It could be because of the financial aid, or just because you want to, or you don't feel the passion right now. You can take like a year gap. It doesn't have a time. It's only up to you.
Thanks, Kaylee. And we this question is for Anna. Anna, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
That's a tough one. Like, I definitely don't regret the path that I took in my life, because I feel like it's helped me grow a lot in a lot of different aspects of my life, like different skill sets and different passions. And like Kaylee said, if you don't want to go to college right away, you don't have to. It'll eventually maybe grow on you. But something that I would tell myself is definitely like, don't be afraid. I feel like one of the things that stopped me the most from furthering my education right out of high school was fear. Fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being able to pull the work load and then the school load. It's like having it's like having two shifts. You have to go to school, and then you also kind of have to pay for it on your own if you don't have the right resources. I would definitely say if I would have known in high school that I could have graduated with an associate's degree, I would have done it without skipping a beat. And I would definitely say inform yourself on what resources you have available. A lot of high schools are actually offering technical careers that you can go to for 2 years, and then you come out of there with an associate degree. I wish I would have known that. And another piece of advice that I would also give myself is like, also don't be afraid to succeed. I feel like, as we also have the fear of being successful just because we feel like we don't deserve it sometimes. Like, we feel like we need to struggle in order to gain what we have in our lives. And I would say, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid to get up and try again. And if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, we're all with you. Like, I feel like nobody really knows what they're doing with their lives. If you're passionate about something, definitely go for it. But at the same time, take your time to get to know yourself, and take your time to work towards a different goal. And if you have a bunch of different things that you want to do, don't be afraid to reach for all of them. Like you have, Valeria has a couple of undergrads, and she'll probably eventually get her graduate, So it's just like, the more you know, the more that you can have an impact on everybody else around you. So I definitely say shoot for the stars.
I love that. I couldn't agree more. That is awesome. And Anna, that's so true. You are not alone. You have mentors and your professors, your familia that is cheering you on. So we are definitely not alone in this journey. Alvin, what would you do differently if you could go back in time?
That's a very good question. Probably I would be more open when I first moved here to the States, be more open to take honor classes, be more open to take AP classes, ACE classes. Like Anna said, if I would be able to have the chance to know that I was able to graduate with associates when I moved here, I would do it in a heartbeat. Be more friendly. You never know who is so and so friend, and it's kind of funny, but sometimes you say, "Oh, I was for Latinos in Action." Oh, but I know your teacher. You wanna be my? I can be your tutor or help you out with your classes. I will be more open, more friendly, more be able to network with as many people as you can, because you never know who is so and so friend or who knows who, and those resources are incredible. Also, I would try to educate myself more when it comes to finances and financial aid and all that comes to, because our parents are afraid of college because of finances, but if you have the right resources and you know what you're doing, it's not that big of a deal. But you have to educate yourself on that. Those are the things I will do before, like back on China. I will like focus on educating myself, expand my network, and be more open to the challenge.
Thanks, Alvin. Okay, Luis, it's your turn. How has Latinos in Action helped you and changed your life?
I guess I'll just share my story. When I was like invited to come here, I was told to be vulnerable, so I'll try to make myself vulnerable. I was born in Mission Viejo, California, and my mom is from El Salvador, and my dad is from Mexico. And yeah, I saw that so weird. And then we moved to Utah when I was like 7, and then a couple of months passed by, and then my father arrested. And when he was arrested, he was accused of raping an underage girls, and so he had to endure like a 2-year-long court case. And during that time, my mother basically had to be a single mother. She had to work 2 jobs because she was making minimum wage, and I'd barely see her. And so it was mostly my sister that was taking care of me. Thankfully, at the end of the court case or the trial, my dad was declared innocent. But while he was in jail, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement, ICE, they do a screening on all the inmates, and they saw that he was an undocumented immigrant, and they ended up deporting him back to Mexico. And so I was really young, and I was so confused with all the things that were going around me. And I just I was helpless. I was ignorant. I didn't know what was going on. But one thing that really helped me was going to school, because in elementary I learned new things. I gained knowledge. I gained an awareness, and so I really loved school from the start. And then in 6th grade, people from the local junior high, Westlake Junior High. So I lived in West Valley City. People from Westlake Junior High and their Latinos in Action chapter came to my elementary, and they said, "Hey, there's this program called Latinos in Action, and we teach students about the Latino culture and leadership, professionalism, and service. And you guys mentor at all these elementary schools." And I was like, "Wow, this is so cool! I love school, and this is a cool way to step it up once I enter junior high." And so I enrolled in the class, and I learned about all these amazing Latino leaders. I learned about Jose Enriquez. I learned about Cesar Chavez. And also my LIA teacher, while she was teaching me, she was getting her PhD here at the University of Utah. And so she had connections, and she told some things. And Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor ended up coming here to the U and giving a speech. And so Mrs. Martinez, my LIA teacher, got all of the LIA classes and brought us to come see Sonia Sotomayor, and hearing her story about how her parents are from Puerto Rico, and she went to Princeton University and went to law school, and she became the Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America. And she was so close to me, I could almost touch her. All those experiences with LIA were so life-changing, and made me realize that even though I'm Latino and first generation and my parents are immigrants, and we come from a low socioeconomic status, and my dad was deported. Like, I could still be successful. And my definition of success, or what I was told by my teachers of success, was to go to college. And my parents were always like, go to college. But, since I was first generation, they didn't know the pathway of what it took to go to college or apply. And so all they said was like, échale ganas, or ponte las pilas, but like, what does that mean, And so, but LIA was really like the program that taught me, like, in order to go to college, you need to get good grades, be involved, do community service, give back to your community, take AP classes, concurrent enrollment classes, honors classes, and all these things. And so after finishing junior high and entering high school, I automatically enrolled for LIA. And I've taken LIA from 7th grade all the way to my senior year in high school, so 6 years total. And then, they taught me to be involved. In junior high, I also joined the wrestling team. And then in high school, I continued with wrestling. I ended up placing 5th in state. And I also was involved in Future Business Leaders of America and DECA. And I also did student government and was able to become the student body vice president of my high school, Granger High School. And then I also met Valeria because as a vice president, I was the student rep for Keys to Success. And then one day, like, she sent a text to all the representatives of the high schools, and she said, hey, we're like looking to film a commercial. I need students to be in it. And, I was like, hey, like, I'll be in it. And so I got a couple of other people from my high school to be in the commercial. And then I never like met Valeria in person, but I saw like, oh, Valeria Jimenez, that sounds like she's Latina. And so then I met her, and then, oh, like, she's Latina. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. And then, like, somehow Latinos in Action came up, and then I don't know if she felt it, but like, there's this like click, like, oh my gosh, like we've like been through the same experiences. We went to the conferences, we tutored elementary school students, we like talked about Jose Enriquez and how awesome he is. And like, LIA, after you graduate, kind of opens up this network and creates this like connection with the people that you've been in, with Latinos in Action. And one awesome opportunity that Valeria invited me to, which I'm like super thankful for, was that she invited me to go to this really close meeting with presidential candidate Joaquin Castro, which was like super cool. And then also Valeria was really the one that put me in check, to apply for scholarships. She's the one that sent me the link and told me the deadline. She was like, hey, apply for this scholarship. Thankfully, I got accepted, and it was a full ride to come here to the U. So thank you, Valeria. You're awesome.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Luis, for sharing. So when we first met, we had kind of like a Spider-Man meme. Have you ever seen that meme where you're kind of pointing at each other? So we, like, Luis and I, we did that. We're like, wait, are you LA? And we had that connection. So LA really brings people together. Okay, Millie, we'll turn the time to you. How did your family play a role in your college application process?
So when I was a senior in high school, it's a time when like every student is asked by faculty and close friends and family, like, are you going to college? If you are, where are you going? And stuff like that. And so when I definitely sat down with my parents and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to go to college or not, because I grew up very low income. I'm from a low income family. And so I didn't really see my parents aiding me in my college journey, especially financially. And so what surprised me most about what they said is the only thing that we can help you with is being there for you emotionally and giving you moral support. But one thing that very surprised me was like if they told me that if they had to go into debt in order for me to go to college, that they would. And so that sort of woke up something in me and allowed me to reach out to my LIA mentor at the time, Brad Northcutt from Springville High School, and really get to be involved in LIA. And so I was able to get involved in everything. And because my parents were there to help me emotionally, because that's like all that they could do from their part, I was able to get a full ride scholarship to the University of Utah. And so far, they haven't had to pay out of their pocket. It's all been due to scholarship and financial aid. And so I'm very thankful for that.
That is awesome. Congrats, Millie, on your full ride scholarship. I just want to let our panelists share their closing statement. So, an advice for current Latinos in Action students. So if you could all share in 1 minute or less, just a closing statement and some advice. We'll start with Victor.
Thank you, Valeria. I would just say this. Yo pensé que yo no lo podía hacer. I thought I couldn't go to college, that I couldn't be a professional. And today, every single goal, with the help of LIA and my parents, that I put out for myself, I want to get a master's. I want to work at Goldman Sachs. I want to be a finance professional. And I have a lot more. And even I had a goal of being more involved with LIA, more part of, of not just volunteering, but like helping with the organization. And that even happened for myself. I guess what I'm trying to say is I was a scared little boy that I would just, look at UVU and just dream of one day stepping inside and, being able to graduate from there. But my dream school was the U. And I was able to do all of that. So todo se puede, dedication and hard work. And LIA is just such an amazing institution and organization that's just going to help you propel you there forward even more. So, vamos, háganlo.
Thanks, Victor. Jhonatan.
Just kind of back to what I was saying, you're not alone. There's a ton of resources. There's Latinos in Action. If you are a student that's going into tech and don't know what path you're going to take, please reach out to us. I would be happy to bring you in and shadow us for a little bit. Anna, I'm sure that Anna would love to help out as well. Yeah, you're not alone. And I don't know anybody's story here, like what their background is or what the story is, but people that know me and where I come from and who I was and what I was, let me tell you, if there was someone that was that was going to fail, or that was a prospect to fail, it was me. But I didn't, and I think that if I didn't, I think that everybody can do it. I mean, and you're not alone out there. Please be proactive, look for resources, reach out. There's a ton of ways to make it happen, and work hard.
Thanks, Jhonatan. Alvin.
Something I would like to tell everybody is just apply to everything and anything that move for scholarships. There is literally a scholarship for being tall out there. Just go ahead and there is an app to that. So go ahead and apply, and everything. You never know what money you can receive for college. Just go ahead and apply for whatever you see it. Do your research. Like Jhonatan says, you're not alone. There's many people that can help you. Latinos in Action is one of them. There's many nonprofit organizations that are out there willing to give you the tools and the resources that you need to be successful. Like, just apply for everything, so you can do. A penny less that you have to pay for college.
Very true. Silvia.
So my advice would be kind of going along with Victor. You can do it. Like there isn't anything that you can't reach. And when people tell you that you can't do it, let that motivate you. Let that be a thing that drives you. And, you know, como dice mi mamá, como sea, se hace, como sea, se puede. Like, you know, if you have some financial struggles, you know, apply to scholarships, do the best that you can. And, you know, those will come. Just try your best to get to where you want to be. And then from there, it will be provided and opportunities will be opened up for you. So, you know, don't give up and keep going. You can do it. All the panelists here an example of that, you know, a lot of us have overcome a lot of struggles and relate to one another what we've been through. And I think that just shows that if we're here, anyone can do it, and students can do it. So that's my advice.
Love it. Thanks, Silvia. Kaylee, what is your advice?
I think three things. The first one is stay kind all the time. The second one, don't forget where you come from. The third one will be, if you can help, no matter what, do it. But because why not?
Thanks, Kaylee. Manny, how about you?
I think for me, just being honest with yourself and realizing that it's okay if you don't have the answer today, because, you know, sometimes you won't have the answer today. And also kind of just making sure, like, sometimes I know people get caught up on success and, like, you know, worrying about, like, they're not at where they want to be today. You know, overall, like, eventually if you keep working hard, you'll get there. I kind of always thought, like, progress over success, because progress will always lead to success. So I just try to make sure to get better every day, and realize, like, I may not be where I want to be today, but I know if I keep working hard, eventually it will come.
Thanks, Manny. Anna, we'll go to you.
So my advice is definitely like trust yourself. Don't be afraid to reach for your dreams and for your goals. And progress definitely does lead you to success. It took me 4 years to get back to school. I doubted myself every single day that I was in there, that I was overwhelmed with the amount of information that I was receiving. I had to make the decision on my own to step back from what I was doing and start over. So definitely trust yourself. Make sure that you're listening to what your internal dialogue is telling you, because if you feel like you're lost and you need some time to take a deep breath and just take a break, do it. Definitely don't overwhelm yourself with like, oh, I have to do this right now because I need it. You know, it's more of, so listen to yourself and make sure that even if you feel like you're failing, look back and look where you were yesterday or the week before, and you'll see that no matter how small you've walked forward, you're still walking forward. Even if you walk backwards a little bit, no, don't matter, you know, just get up, rub the dirt off your knees and keep going.
Thank you, Anna. And Luis, how about you?
My closing statement would be that don't be scared to be vulnerable, like with the college application process and the scholarship process. As first generation Latino students from, you know, low economic backgrounds or immigrants, they don't really place a lot of focus on GPA or ACT and all these things, because they know that, you know, they, like, you guys don't have the same like opportunities and as like all these other people, you know, that are basically privileged, you know, and had parents that already went to school and know about like the college application process. And so, you know, when you're writing your college essays, just like pour yourself out. And with my college applications and scholarship essays, like I shared the same story that I shared today. So don't be like scared to share it. And also, you know, talk to like your English teachers or someone that's really good at English and writing, and they'll help you a lot on with your essays. So
thank you, Luis. And Millie, what is your advice?
My advice would be to ask all the questions that you need to ask, research all the things that you need to research, and communicate with as many people as you need to communicate to be able to reach a conclusion and to be able to get inspired and to get involved. There's no right or wrong answer. There's always people out there, especially with Latinos in Action, that are always going to be willing to help you out, and all your teachers as well. So just make sure you just ask and research, do your research.
Perfect. Thanks, Millie. Well, this panel discussion was very insightful and empowering. I hope all of you tuning in feel the same way. As my former internship boss in DC, Mr. Mickey Ibarra, he would always say, our personal stories are powerful and need to be told. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences and stories. We're so lucky to have amazing and brilliant Latinos like you all in these different paths and spaces. While sometimes it can be hard, we are so fortunate to have each other, our teachers, professors, friends, and nuestra familia who are cheering for us and supporting us every step of the way. When I graduated from college, I knew that I wanted to continue my education, but I wanted to work first and gain some experience. My goal is to return back to school and earn a master's degree in public administration or education policy. And just how the panelists shared, I really want to help other Latino students find those resources. It's so important that we continue to build each other as we navigate this journey. We are not alone. And as Anna said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to ask. We are here and you are not alone. So with that concludes our panel discussion. Thank you so much to our amazing panelists for taking the time to be with us tonight and sharing their thoughts and stories. And also thank you to the Latinos in Action team for putting this together. This is awesome. So we can have students to really listen to people that have been a part of this, that they were in high school too. We were navigating college as well. And also a huge thank you to everyone for tuning in and participating. We hope you all have a great evening. Thank you so much.